Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We'll begin with the manhunt that's been going on for a child kidnapping suspect on Detroit's west side coming to an end. Just within this past half hour or so, police arresting 27-year-old Sean Shorts after he allegedly kidnapped a 3-year-old boy and assaulted the boy's mother. Officers say the boy was found safe and is now with family. So again, the suspect taken into custody just about 30 minutes ago.
Our other top story is in Brighton, where the school board is debating whether to require masks in schools when there's a higher risk of COVID transmission.
Currently, masks are optional in the district. The meeting comes amid skyrocketing COVID numbers in Michigan. Jason Colthorpe live tonight. And Jason, many were there to speak their minds.
Oh, they sure were. We've detailed some of these previous meetings in Brighton, and you've seen how contentious they've been, whether it be over quarantining students, over this very same mask issue, which already came up for a vote and failed. Well, with it back on the docket tonight, parents, teachers, and students came out to be heard, and it was standing room only.
Harassment or threats or intimidation directed to other members of the audience or the board is not going to be tolerated.
A warning right out of the gate by the Brighton School Board president. And while there were no explicit threats to the board, there were some minor disturbances among those in attendance.
It was flipping me off.
I saw it.
I saw it.
We all saw it.
As for the issue at hand, a few students joined the majority there to ask for a no vote on mandating masks.
The individuality of people is threatened when you can't see their face. You become one with the herd. Basically, you become a shell of a person.
I struggle from anxiety, and I struggle from stress. And by putting a mask on me, you're ruining my chances of having people who are there for me.
This evening, I propose that you all resign. As board members,
many in favor of masks cited current health stats, and this teacher and mom noted something much simpler.
They serve the practical purpose of keeping my students safe in a healthy, physical way. They also serve my favorite purpose, which is keeping my students in my classroom with me.
So we are actually still monitoring this meeting. It is still going on. Here's where they stood. They went for a few hours to hear the public comment on this. Now the board is actually discussing. They've introduced this measure. They're discussing it. They'll probably make a decision. They've also said they might extend public comment after they make a decision here. So as soon as we know anything on this, we will let you know. Reporting live, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
We'll let you get back to it. All right, Jason.
1 week since the school shooting in Oxford, and we now know Oxford High School will not reopen until at least after the holiday break.
In a letter sent to parents, Principal Steve Wolf says the earliest classes would resume would be January 2nd. Meanwhile, the Oxford School District has opted to hire a private firm to review the events leading up to the shooting, despite an offer from Michigan's Attorney General to do that. Dana Nessel says she still plans to meet with students, parents, and teachers to review safety policies.
A group of about 100 students gathered tonight on the campus of Michigan State University to honor the 4 lives lost in the Oxford High School shooting. Victor Williams is in East Lansing with the emotional gathering and why many in attendance are calling for change.
Well, Oxford High School may be about 80 miles away from the campus here at MSU, but students here are saying that their hearts are with the families of the victims in this tragic school shooting.
Justin, Tate, Madison, and Hannah. Our only purpose here is to gather to honor them and try and support the Oxford community tonight.
Candlelight illuminates the sky in the heart of Spartan country Tuesday night as a vigil goes on in remembrance of those who fell victim to a tragedy just a week ago.
It meant a lot to me personally, just because it's nice to know that people care so far away from home and people that aren't even connected to it.
Logan Nix and several others who actually graduated from Oxford High were in the crowd, but this time is now MSU students who wanted to pay their respects.
My brother's in the high school, so I was worried about him, and overall just heartbroken about all the deaths, all the injuries, everybody affected.
It means a lot to me personally coming from Oxford, and it's so heartwarming to see everybody come out.
But there was also another reason for the gathering. The group behind the vigil, Students Demand Action, was created to try and prevent gun violence from happening in the first place.
It's a human issue. Children are dying, and we need to work together to prevent it. Gun violence is something that affects everybody, and we couldn't imagine what Oxford is feeling right now, but our hearts are going out to them, and we're here to support them however we can.
And we're told this is only the beginning for the group. Students demand action and that they're going to be continuing this fight in the future. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Hey, Victor. Today, members of the Oxford community gathered to say goodbye to HEITMEIER, one of the 4 students who lost their lives in that shooting.
Tomorrow, there's going to be a visitation and funeral for 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana. And then on Thursday, 7 p.m. will be the funeral for Justin Schilling. We've been asked to live stream that service in light of COVID concerns. And if you'd like to watch, we'll have a link on the homepage of clickondetroit.com. That's Thursday night.
And 5 more students are facing charges in connection to school threats in Wayne County. Those cases involve alleged threats of violence against multiple schools in Detroit, Melvindale, Wayne, and Grosse Pointe Farms. All 5 students are charged with intentional threats to commit acts of violence. 2 face an additional charge of malicious use of a telecommunications device.
All right, let's turn to the forecast now. We've got wind chills that are now down into the teens. It's the chilliest day that we've had in memory here for a while.
That's right, Andrew. You're also tracking some snow moving in overnight, right?
That's right. And fortunately, it's a small amount of snow, stuff that we can easily handle, but even a little bit of snow can cause a huge amount of problems. But don't get caught off guard when you wake up tomorrow morning. Now, it's still very cold out there with temperatures running from the upper teens in Lapeer, where it's 19 degrees, same thing in Sandusky, to low 20s to about 25 degrees over at City Airport. We're looking at cloudy skies, not much in the way of flakes falling right now, but it's 23 over at the airport, and even the slightest breeze of just 6 miles per hour drops those wind chills down to the teens. So that's how cold it feels on your skin if it's not protected. Good reason, once again, to bundle up tomorrow morning when we wake up. Now, there are a few flakes that are out there, not much really hitting the ground. You can see that here just downriver and closer to the Ohio border, south of Monroe, and a few more flakes off to our west that will develop and move over us as we go into the overnight hours and by tomorrow morning. But it's out of here before lunchtime. In its wake, at least a trace to maybe a ½ inch of snow. I'll break that down neighborhood by neighborhood. Tomorrow afternoon's forecast, your 7-day forecast in minutes.
All right, Andrew. Tonight, concerns about the Omicron variant of coronavirus driving more Americans to get the vaccine or their booster.
The variant has now been found in 50 countries and 19 states. The U.S. is now reporting about 100,000 new COVID cases per day. 12.5 million Americans have received a vaccine in the last week. That's the highest weekly total since May. 7 million of those were booster shots. Dr. Anthony Fauci says it's too early to determine the severity of Omicron, but data suggests it's more contagious.
This is a schematic diagram of a 7-day rolling average of confirmed cases per million people in South Africa. The almost vertical inflection of this clearly argues towards a high degree of transmissibility.
Dr. Fauci says scientists should have some data by next week that shows how well vaccines stand up to this new variant. The Detroit Police and Fire Pension Fund is now suing billionaire businessman Dan Gilbert, alleging insider trading. The civil lawsuit, first reported by Bloomberg Law, claims Gilbert had insider information when he sold $500 million in Rocket Company stock. Gilbert announced the March stock sale was helped to fund his plan to invest hundreds of millions to revitalize Detroit neighborhoods over the next 10 years. The lawsuit claims he knew the stock's value would drop soon after he sold it. Rock Holdings issued a statement tonight calling the suit false and preposterous. We have the entire statement on clickondetroit.com.
Michigan drivers getting an early Christmas present, or maybe it's a late Christmas present because it won't actually arrive until next spring. But Governor Whitmer says $400 auto insurance refunds are on the way. The money comes from a surplus received by the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association. The group says about $3 billion can be returned to Michigan drivers while still providing care for accident survivors. That's per vehicle, by the way. Refunds should start to arrive after March 9th.
All right, still ahead, if you didn't get your Amazon package today, you are not alone.
Yeah, massive outage disrupted everything from Netflix to Amazon deliveries. We'll tell you about it.
And President Biden meets with Vladimir Putin for more than 2 hours. The warning he sent the Russian leader amid growing concerns about an invasion of Ukraine.
But first, an arsonist destroys a Grosse Pointe restaurant. New surveillance video showing moments before the fire, and that is next.